normally say 你早 and you can even omit the 你 you. Good morning for you. Can just simply say good morning, morning, 早. Okay, we have basically two things to do today, characters and also the tree trunk and the main branch. Okay, do here. Cannot see my handout. Oh, it's here. Okay, so first let's do the character, because this character, the other one to match this character of the tree, both large and small. I think the characters is not that complicated, so we have 3 characters to learn today, and I want to put them together. Actually, easier. So do not afraid. Okay, the first character. You can see 3 parts of them, right? In vertical, in vertical and horizontal, like inline 3 parts. The left parts, always we talked about the for the meaning, radical, which means it's belong to what kind of a category, right? It's grass or wood, or we learn like happy, like a heart radical, right? What's this radical? Know that. And standard first. Standard style first. Okay, horizontal, a little bit up, a little bit, right? Not that much slant, but a little bit go up this direction for prettier. Okay, and the vertical connected hook on the bottom. And then slant dot for left and the right. For more prettier, sometimes the slant and the press, or slant and dot for left and the right 2 sides, you can try to avoid exactly from the same dot, from the same place. Look at the sample a little bit, from here, and then my dot from here a little bit, or from this vertical, but not exactly from same point. And then center part, do not separate it, leave it too much distance. Wood radical, right? This is, I know somebody know that, and we learned a few, right? And the little mouth one, the squarish things, always right. The upper part bigger, and the bottom part a little bit short, the narrower, shorter, horizontal. It's like the shoulder, right? Things. Okay, 2 dots talk together, things with the connection. And then see this bottom horizontal a little bit up, right? Sometimes, indicated we still have something on the right to right. And then the third part of the right. This is actually the measurement, and it's Chinese inch, the character I'm writing, the third part on the right. And a dot, like a raindrop, right? Dot, press, by pressing. This is the standard style. See my one? I always say, oh, this is art, because cannot 100% controlled. And while talking, you're not very, concentrate sometimes on your writing, on your brush. See, I always critique my one I just done. See here, compare with the sample, see here. Supposedly at the end and the last stroke, a little bit stronger. So my one is instead here stronger and here not strong enough. Look at the sample, a little bit more press and then lift, stretch out. Okay, so that's why I give you the master's sample. We have saying, I always say, copy, mimic to the higher class one, you got the middle, and copy the middle one, you got the lower than middle, because you will miss some percentage, right? That's the standard style. And by the way, actually, we got 2 new students in our class. Su Tan. Yeah, hi. And the other Kaho Cheng. Welcome. And actually, I want to ask Sutan, and Sutan, do you have the experience to learn the calligraphy before, or Chinese characters? None? Not at all. You can unmute yourself. Yeah, we have been learning our class for more than 1 year, but each class kind of separately, kind of individual, we all learn. And to learn the characters is like the build things, like a one break by one break.
No, I don't have experience with brush calligraphy, but it was my second language for 12 years.
Oh,
From Singapore.
12 years second language, wonderful. 很好
谢谢你。
很好，不客气，欢迎。
谢谢老师。
欢迎 Welcome. And what about the Cheng, Kaho Cheng? Are you there? Not there. Okay, anyway. Okay, and we also, are you also at our online class? We also critique the classroom, the homework there when you do some things, or calligraphy or painting, for critique, if you want to put that homework there. Okay, let's continue. This is the standard styles become walking class. Walking class, shows more dynamic, right? Because from standing to to walking, and for the writing looks hard, but actually, after I explain and demo, and you try a couple of times, you got the flow, the chi flow of that, actually easier, right? It is easier, because for faster writing, basically, the purpose to have this style. Okay, the wood radical stay almost the same, and actually that's the role of how the wood radical from standard to walking, or say even the running cursive style, right? Okay, this is a stroke by stroke, left and right, right? And simply left and right become kind of one stroke by what? By press first and then lift. This still the same, right? And then from here, press down to the right bottom, and then lift, even can split a little bit. This almost repeat, right? Doesn't matter, but it will show press, 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 and then ready for other thing, right? So that's the role. You will meet this in many other characters later. Actually, we met some before, right? Okay, so I say press because before is slant, right? It's the lifting, by lifting. Totally, actually, like the in two kinds. Press first and then lift. This is one kind versus press later down, right? Those are basically two kinds. And also we can use this in painting. In painting, we call what? We call like the raindrop or nail head. We do like what's that? Lotus flower. Remember lotus flower petal? We say nail head, press and then lift. Press and then lift. This is we call nail head, right? By pressing first and then lift. And the other we call raindrop, which means in the air first and then softly touch and then press. This kind of a dot we call raindrop, right? Okay, so totally like two kinds by pressing and lifting, right? Okay, so the press first and then lift. Okay, let's do the walking. And for the center, it's very, see, this is very complicated. Lots of strokes here. And so this part from this and just become what kind of, okay, so the press here, right? And become like the here and kind of the reverse, kind of the flashing, the lighting. That's it. And become this, right? So this part become only this. And the last one, I talked about the Chinese inch, just become the dot, back to the center to do the dot, right? Okay, so totally the walking style is wood radical, center things, lightening things, and don't do the too long because it's center. And the right part, this vertical, not good. I watched the sample. Yeah, but you know, kind of walking and the running, you can kind of correct by every 1/10 of second. But you have done some things not control and you become a little bit try to correct it by next step. So the more fluent, more familiar with the whole structure, and you will know, shows more chi flow energy, yeah, the wholeness of the walking class. And also this is the beauty for this style. I mean, walking or cursive, right? Running, or walking or running style. For running style, cursive style, looks changed a lot. Looks simple, but sometimes I still want to, in the classroom homework, because sometimes a little bit different at the place, the crucial place, it will shows different. As we know, sometimes the ambiguous with other characters we didn't learn. So I still want to let you know some, if it is important point, I will let you know. Okay, word radical stays almost the same, and the rest two parts, middle part and the right part, become almost one part, and by the upper part a little bit turn a little bit lean to the left, lower part a little bit right, because the center part here a little bit short already, so become running style, become shorter and shorter, only stay on the top. That's the principle, how to become. Okay, so this word radical stay almost the same, more careless, I would say, and then become here, then kind of the vertical things, and then circle, square, between square and round, do that. Yeah, and when you control it, you do more fluent for the wholeness, how it composed. You want the whole shape looks prettier, right? The wholeness, even the outlay line of the whole things, almost a square, and not super big on the top or super wide, some things. And for the more than one part of the characters, remember, you try to write very clear, but do not separate them too much. See, kind of put them together, right? So in this case, because the stroke from the word radical to the, I'm talking about the sample, looks a little bit separated, but there is the stroke connected. So chi goes very connecting. That's the tree. And also, this is a clerical style. Yeah, we always say this is the name for clerical style, is actually earlier, very earlier, even earlier than all of those things, just after the seal script, seal carving script. So thinking about the usage of the hard surface, on the hard surface, stone, wood, bamboo, like bamboo blinds, right? That's the bamboo book, ancient time. And you are carving or use some things on the hard surface to write, or stick on the sand to write things. So, I mean, perpendicular your brush and go slower, conceal the tip. Conceal the tip. Slant, but not lift that much, bounce back a little bit. Shorter, very dignified for the stroke. And always shows more flat, right? Turning part, see, I lift my brush. You can see stroke by stroke to start another stroke. Because it's carving, go slower. And the hook, do not stretch that fast. Go very slow. You are carving on hard surface, not You cannot sweep it. It won't do. It won't show the raindrop. That's the clerical style. Because the way to use your brush, very useful in painting, and also the characters. Nowadays, for some calligraphy show or for like the logo thing, people still think like one characters or a phrase to use this clerical style shows a lot of beautiful things. And the show also shows the more stable, more dignified looking, more formal in other way shows. Okay, I'll write in same paper the characters. Okay, this is the character for large, right? For large. And okay, move it down, 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 down. Here is the character for small, right? Small. I think the large one, did we learn the character large? You did? I remember that we learned people, because people in center. I remember I said like the center one, this is for the people, right? This is for people, like the people, humans stand there and unfortunately cannot see. Step out your foot, right? Okay, this is the people or person, right? Very, photogram. And then when you open your arm, kind of enlarged, you know, that's why it's called da. It's big, large. Okay, easier to remember? Yes, very easy. And then like the little or small, in Chinese, in Chinese, very looked like the one person, parent, one of the parents is walking with two kids, two sides. Okay, that's two. You know, small children. Okay, easier to remember, right? Which is big, large, and which is small. Interesting, huh? And very easy to write, and very useful. And also we have some things, add a little bit and they become other characters. Okay, that's just do it. But sometimes, you know, the last stroke is very hard to get it prettier, to write it very balanced. Okay, horizontal first, conceal. Standard writing, huh? And this a little bit stable and also very balanced. A little bit up instead of drop. Okay, and then about one third of the the length stick out from this, right? And the center. Okay, the big slant. And press. Then walking, start to. Very it started to show dynamic, right? Dynamic, very beautiful. And I will call less care. It actually shows more, shows less pressing and lift, but shows more dynamic. And more like hard pen writing, right? Or hard brush or stick writing. Okay, so just see a little bit up for that. So very free to do. See my here, one doesn't have to do on purpose, do the circle here, just understand why that hook there. Why the hook there? Just show the stroke order and dynamic. That's the walking. Then interesting cursive running style. Normally, the running style based on walking, but some form, I think artists, literati or say, want to show some prettier, sometimes not for just faster than the walking, just to show some art things. They change the form, change the order. And this is, see, the horizontal shoot from left, right? But instead from right. And a little bit for the, a little bit up. I mean, from a start higher place, because what? Do not do too high, a little bit. Actually, before, because character is a vertical line. So start from last character's writing up and then do that. So this is the horizontal and back to the center. Do that, and that's how it write. Of course, if you want, I always say there is no serious line border in between walking and running. So depend on different person. You can do this, and also you can do very from this to. So some people do that, more connected, some things do that, but still the order of the character, the strokes stay the same. Okay, in clerical style, almost the same with the standard style, right? But you can tell it's this is a standard is on paper, more advanced on paper. That one is on hard surface, metal or wood, just perpendicular your brush, conceal the tip, because on hard surface you wouldn't do very sharp tip, and the slant need to bounce back. And then big, only one stroke, we call goose tail flying. Go slower instead of very quick, because it's hard surface. Okay, that's how much for the large. The big, basically still can tell, right? People stand there with 2 feet, step out, and then a large arm. That's 大, big, large. Okay, that's still the parent leading 2 kids. So 2 kids, center first, vertical first. We always say calligraphy, there is normally one stroke dominate, right? So here is the one stroke standard style. Press and then stretch out for the hook. And then by pressing to here and a little bit up, right? This dot and connect with that dot. So pressing to this way and to that way, and like 2 of them with the connection, right? Yes, when same family, they are talking together, they are taking care of each other. So this walking style shows more dynamic, but more related for the 2 dots. but you can easily tell, right? So two press for the different direction, left and right, and like holding things. So. Yeah, sometimes people write a little bit higher, a little bit lower. Normally no lower than the bottom of this vertical, but normally no higher than the halfway up. Okay, and the running style, cursive style. Actually, I had hard time to choose which one is running, which one is walking. Just to understand the role, the meaning of thus and thus and thus. That's easier. I don't know which one more faster or shows more. Same. Yeah. Do not stop here to try to understand which is, yeah, you understand. That's okay. So for the tree, we need to why we learn tree, right? We also have the phrase for the tree. I mean, another meaning for this tree. One meaning is for tree, right? And the second meaning as the verb. This is as a noun. And as a verb, as to grow a tree. Okay. I know since you don't have the same things for the in English, the tree, right? You don't have tree is just a noun for tree, right? Am I right? Okay, but yeah, for
no, it can also be a verb, but it probably doesn't mean the same thing in China.
Oh.
To tree an animal means to like run an animal up a tree.
Oh, okay, I understand.
So it's a verb.
Okay,
in that case.
Understand. Okay, nothing to do with the grow things. Okay. So I have the we have the phrase. I'm just writing this walking or standing some things. We say this. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. The first I did. Okay. We learned this character, I believe. What's that? 10.
10.
Yeah, very easy. The cross is the 10. Okay. And what's that? We learned, I remember. Year, right? 1 year, 2 year. Okay, 10 year. What's the meaning for that? This character I'm writing is 100. Okay, we talk about the here. It's a verb. It's to grow. To grow. So which means this is people, person. This is wood. It's a tree. Like 10 years to grow up a tree, and what's that? 100 years to I don't know, to cultivate, to to educate, to the Chinese way. Okay, anyway, that's just the phrase. Very I think every Chinese people know that. It's a kind of say the teacher, respect the teacher and the school, and be very educated, very important. Be civilized, very important, kind of talking about these things, and not easy, see. My mom was the professor, and that's the only job career in her life. And she always say that when she said that, and to critique my work, calligraphy work, and everything. And my mom, or sometimes to critique the students' work home. For the after class, for the homework, and she always said, very good students, or sometimes I feel always never encouraged me. Sometimes I got that kind of a mood, and my mom always said, 10 years for the tree, and 100 years for the people. I know. Okay. Any question about the characters today we are learning? You can based on the handout to do the homework to try, and if you want me to want my critique and put in the classroom, and then let's start the tree. Yes.
Victoria, I think you didn't do the clerical for Xiao.
I'm old, and I think I watch time, and I want to do some tree. Okay, Xiao. That's very typical clerical style for carving, as we said. On hard surface, so raindrop never appear, become more triangle, because that's why the carving did. And the small hook omit, just very dignified of the vertical, right? Vertical, and the back stroke. That's it for the vertical. And two raindrop, you just make two triangle. Because not on the paper, right? Hard to do. So press it first and slowly lift up. Is that less beautiful than the raindrop? Well, depends. But I think this is kind of the beauty. Very beautiful. Press and slowly tape down, lift. That's the way to do clerical style for the dot. Two triangle, more triangle like, instead of the raindrop, right? Raindrop is very beautiful in standard style, or make it very vivid in the walking and the running. And but this is triangle one. Also, I think it's very beautiful and shows more dignified things, Okay. And this is because very short. So the position of two dots a little bit higher, right? Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, we start our tree basic practice. Okay. I got from the book of Mustard Sears Garden Manual of Painting. So this very important and has some things to do with our calligraphy practicing. That's why I always choose some things not very colorful probably, but sometimes very useful for our calligraphy class. Okay, basic things. Remember, we talked about, there is English translation there. I bet you learned that already. Okay, you read that already. For the rock or stone, rock or stone, we say like the 3 sides, right? 3 sides, or we say nose. Nose. Remember that? Because I say like the 3. What's the 3 sides for that? You know, in Western, you talk about the light come from, right? Light come from, should be come from like the one direction, right? From one direction. But in Chinese, what does it mean? 3 sides. Okay, for also say nose, which means like the nose here, 1 side and 2 sides. But what's that? Okay, in Chinese means yin and yang. And why 1 yang and 2 sides for yin? What's that? What's that? Okay, always Chinese painting, bird's view. Remember that? We talked about bird's view. So no matter where the sun come from, bird's view, you will see probably more than like a more than place concaved is in. So in probably more than, you know, more sides, and the yang on 1 side. Just to remember 2 things, yin and yang. Oh, there is some concave, some convex. Shows yin and yang 2 parts. That's it. But rock, 3 sides. And the tree, easy, help you to what direction. Help me, how do DIRE, how do you spell that? DI here, right? Direction. Okay, 4 directions. Yeah, thank you. 4 direct. Okay, remember 3 sides for the nose for the rock, and the 4 ways means the branch. The branch. You want to show the 3D things, not the flat things. Even for bird's view. So branch to 4 sides, to 4 ways. Branch to 4 ways. Right? Okay, then look at the sample. Look at the sample. I give you 2 pieces of that. Look at the sample. What's the 4 ways? You put the main chunk there in center, normally in your mind, no matter you learn or not, right? Thinking about a tree. And then left and the right, automatically you can think of, right? So 2 sides, 2 way. I mean, 2 left, 2 right, the branch, right? And then you only remember what's the 4 besides left and right, front and back, right? That's helped. Yeah. Okay, in your mind, when you do a tree, always remember, besides left and right, I need to think about some some branch, from, to have the backhand right. Okay, and also I said use the rough brush. Use the brush to do the tree trunk, especially tree trunk, because actually, do you know, for our calligraphy, the require of the brush is the highest. You want the best brush for the calligraphy, because you want the tip really good. Do you see when I write, I sometimes do, the stick out, the hair, I do that. So for a while, you need to change brush for perfect writing of the calligraphy, like before, when I do calligraphy, when I small, for the summer break, for 2 months about, I wrote, my mom want me to practice every day. And I write like this big, the paper, the characters on that smaller than this square, about 20 to 30 characters, and 3 to 4 pieces every day. So for the 2 months, I need to change a brush. Besides, my mom gave me the very low price, very cheap brush to write. So 2 to 3, I need to change brush. That's why I wrote on the characters, on the handout, any used brush, never throw away. For painting, for rock, or for the aged tree. Because 100 years for the tree, right? At least for decades. Or, some tree, pine tree, very, very old. And it need to be showed. Look at the sample. Is there any smooth line there? No. And the real tree, the principle to say is there is no even 1 inch of real tree shows absolute straight, right? And the skin of the tree shows bumping. You want your brush to do that. We're talking about a plowing stroke, also called pushing stroke. Totally 2 ways, right? Okay, here I'm doing to pull, which means stroke here, and your brush this way to do to pull, right? To pull. If to plow, or to push, what to do? Brush same. You need to overcome some bumping. Understand? And for tree trunk, you want to stroke like that to push. Understand? Looks different, right? Looks different. You do not want absolute smooth line like that. You do not want. Later, when you put color or some things in the picture, you will see it's really annoyed for this very, very kitsch, very smooth line for tree trunk. For grass is okay, for tree trunk, It never think about the real tree, never do like that. And for the push, you have also need to do some things, look at some place be cut or broken, destroyed, and continue to grow. Sometimes you need hard folding things, by this, pause, and then continue to push, and pause a little bit, continue to push. Sometimes you need to pause and continue to go to push or to plow. That's why. But this way will more or less destroy your perfect brush hair tip. But later, of course, you can do still more things about the landscape. No problem. Yeah. I have brushed more than 30 years. I'm still using, yeah, for painting. Okay, no problem. Now let's do some things. Tree trunk. Actually, first we just I want you to, you can do like put the cicada wing very thin paper you can see through and put it on and mimic, copy it, right, on the sample. But I want you to understand, to read the example. That's why a little bit different doesn't matter, doesn't matter. So later for serious composition, if you want to put it on and decide for very precise things, fine. But I want you, this time we do a kind of practicing. We do practicing and by not put paper on, and by do that and understand and always look at the sample. Where to start doesn't matter. Just remember what your stroke goes, plowing or push. I will start probably not very bottom. I'm talking about the single. I mean the first one I give you, not the 3-tree one. Okay, to do dry, brush need to be very dry. It shows not very young, the tree, right? And then goes some hard indicated tree knob or some things, and the kind of the double line, but you want not very the parallel, right? And then go, and then you need to not very straight, right? By do things. I need to save the outlet for the branch. You just say the outlet for the branch, right? And you can finish this later, and continue with the main chunk, right? Continue with the main chunk. And remember, not even 1 inch goes straight. Another, the outlet for the branch. Left and the right, not at the same place, easier to understand, right? Yeah, basically leave that and they continue to go.
So the brush is more or less closer to upright than horizontal?
If you want, you do not want that very uncontrolled swing. You want to more controlled, if you feel, and you want to put this on desk, feel and more stable, if you think. More close to the tip and more thin, right? And eventually the double line become the single line and the darker. And the single line goes the stroke of the deer hook, we call deer hooks, or if do like that things we call deer hooks, right? If some trees at the tip goes downward like that, things we go crab claw. So to kind for the tip. Okay, and then you can finish the branch, the main branch, right? Trunk we got already, and the main branch. When you do the main branch, look, think about, we saved the outlet for the left and the right, and not at the same level, right? That's easy to think of. Understand, but now we need to think about, for the single tree, how do we do back and front? Okay, did you take a look? Did you look at, by adding some more stroke here to help kind of this branch a little bit in front, from front, right? You see that? A little bit, right? In your mind, and later you will know how to do that to make it shows more front, right? And for the old one, the main, we can do some things like aged skin shows on the tree. That's the build strokes. Use plum stroke. Yeah, do that. Okay, here you see more show for this stroke, for this the branch, right? And this one seems not that much for the front, shows the front thing, right? See my brush really dry, and that's perfect for is some flying white, perfect for the older tree. And you need to watch, keep one eye, always watch for your painting, because some things is your art you are doing, not the absolute role there exactly, requires exactly from the same from the example, from the sample. And if you understand the basic role, you will do good things later for your painting, right? Okay, here, yeah, just simply do some things on the winkle on yours, right? And of course, we want to do from the outlet place to show the single tree. What's the back? What's the front? Always in your mind, okay? And also, you can do some from the main branch. You do some smaller branch by weaving in, and can cross this to show something front, something back, right? Later, more complicated tree, you get a chance to do that. However, always think about 4 ways. Your branch to do 4 directions, left to right. Also, how I do some things to show the branch from the, there is back or there is front, some things balanced. Even from the outlet place you saved, you do some things shows, Look at the second picture. We don't have time to do that, but I want to say the role for that. The second picture, if you more than 2 trees, easier to show left and front and back, isn't it? Yes. So it's easier. And the principle to do more than 2 trees, more than 1 trees. For 2 of them, you do 1 large, 1 small, looks much better. 1 large, 1 small, looks better. And 3 trees, that's a very nice group for number, for 3. always 3, remember. Okay, different higher, and also bottom of that, like in the not very flat, perfect sidewalk of your street, not in the line. A different higher shows like the different bumping rock, natural place, a little bit a small hill indicated the bottom is not very boring sidewalk of your street, right, in line, or perfect man-made in front of the hotel resort in the same line. So not in the same line for the bottom, and also not even. You thought it's balanced for even size for the very 3 of them or 2 of them. No, in the natural, some more, some plants more aggressive, some branch more aggressive, and some very natural, just drop back, right? Drop back, and they are together. Do not separate them, and do not put them very even, just close and very even. You think it's balanced. Natural world, for the natural, the balance is by something leading for this area of the atmosphere. Just remember, some branch very, very aggressive. That's good. That's the natural. And some just naturally drop back, and then they are together. They are together for years. They help each other, or that's the way they grow up together. That's the natural world. Okay, I think that's how much we can do. And the next time for the class, we'll do tree leaves and the small branches, and then we finish the whole trees. But these trees, on this book, as the one lecture kind of, especially for the tree, the composition and for the stroke of a pushing brush stroke, very, very important. And for the principle of the composition, 4 ways you remember in your mind, and then you will think of how to make it 4 ways, especially like the crossing or smaller branch to cross it to show something front, something back. And remember, the 3D things in Chinese painting is we do not talk about the perspective or where the light come from. We talk about the yin yang. And also yin yang is in part, a bird's view could be more than one place, because bird's view. Also, one expert says, in Chinese, the light, the perspective, we also see some concave, some convex. Okay, and in Chinese, 2 characters. Have you ever know that? Any people learn those characters? This is a Chinese character. But very seldom use that. Does it look like Chinese characters? Yes. No? And what I remember when I talked about these characters in my class, when I just to teach, I was still young. One student older than me, Derek, he is a graduate student, but in my class to learn the Chinese language. He is anthropology major. And I said, guess, what's those characters for? And what he said is, I know, I guess. This is a male, this is a female. Isn't that? I said, well, you're probably a good guesser, but sorry, this time wrong. Okay, this is convex. This is for the concave. So Chinese painting, no matter four ways, or the nose, the three sides, talk about some things. No, you know, nose things, the nose. Some concave, some convex, some concave, right? In Chinese painting, talk about yin and yang. This is yang, this is yin, the meaning for that. And in rock, three sides. In tree, just remember four ways, four directions to lay out branches and in your mind. Left, right, easier. Remember back and front in your mind. Try to do your best by crossing things. Yeah, Emily, question?
Yes. What is the word for convex? Is that an AU or an OU?
AO.
AO.
AU. AU. Sorry. First tone.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this is TU. Hey, yes, in this count, all two, all. I got confused. All, AO. Again. All. And the two, yeah, this is on the U, two, all. Two. Usually for say the road all with all two and not flat. Okay, because easy to remember, we try to explain what's the yin yang in Chinese painting, or yeah, what's the, but specific today is why four ways, you know, yin yang is two kind, some concave, some convex. Okay, that's how much we still have. Henry still have the need to use this computer later, and most of you probably have the Henry's class later for painting. Okay, that's how much we learned today. And the next time, tree leaves and for the whole tree. Any questions? Let me know. Any suggestions?